We're going to turn the time over now to Dr. Darlene Lobel.
You've had a lot of very, very good information. You've had a lot of detailed information, which is amazing. I don't know about you, but it might seem a little overwhelming. Like, where do I start? Well, let me tell you something really amazing. You actually have the answers. You know where you're supposed to start, and I'm gonna help you unlock that. I'm gonna give you the key to that today. How does that sound? Okay. You know, I ask myself sometimes why I'm here. Does anybody else do that? Do you ever ask yourself why you're here? Okay. I think back to when I was a little girl. I was 3, 4 years old. I would be bandaging up the cats that really didn't need to be bandaged, but you know, that's what I did. Thought I was making them feel better. Now I guess I'm gonna bandage them with the AO Pet, which is gonna be great. And then I would love to build things, okay? I would, get a box full of things and build a desk or a bookshelf or something like that. And I didn't know at a young age what I was doing, right? I just was being who I was created to be. What do I grow up and become? A neurosurgeon, a healer, a builder, right? Okay? Think back to those things that you did, even when you were young, those desires that you had. Maybe somewhere, someone along the line told you, that's a pipe dream. You can't do that. Don't listen to that. Listen, I believe God put those desires in your heart, okay? So you hold on to those things. Here's what I believe I have come to discover over my few decades here on this earth, is that we actually have within us everything, every bit of knowledge that we are ever going to need while we are here. It just needs to be unlocked. It's in you right now, the ability to heal, the ability to fulfill your purpose, your destiny. It is all within you. All the resources that you need, they are within you. What happens? You remember when you guys were in school, right? Some subjects were easy, some subjects were hard, okay? I was a math nerd, I loved math. I was president of the Math National Honor Society, that's how much I loved math, okay? It was easy for me, right? Because I was designed for that. The things that were hard for me, I used to get so frustrated because I'm a little bit of an overachiever, if you can imagine. Okay, my team up here knows this. All right. I wanted to be good at everything, but it was so frustrating, right? Have you ever tried to learn something? You tried and you're like, I just can't get it. Let me give you some freedom right now. Next time that happens, let it go. It's not meant for you. It's not meant for you. These talks that you've had, they've been amazing. So many good techniques, okay? So many good techniques. But you know what? You're not supposed to take every single one of those and then go home and use it, right? The thing that resonated with you, that inspired you, that sparked in you when you heard it, that is for you. I'm here to give you the freedom to let everything else go because you know what you need, okay? Now, we're going to go on a little bit of a journey today. So you have very beautiful, intricate, complex frequencies inside your program, right? I'm going to simplify things for you a little bit, okay? And we are going to go on a journey through some different brain frequencies. We are going to start with Theta, one of my favorite frequencies, okay? I love having Theta chambers at the Wellness Center. I'm in it often. It's amazing. Clients come out of that with clarity, with insight. You know why it is? Because it's a gateway to your subconscious mind. You don't know, you say you don't know what you're supposed to pay attention to from this conference. You say you don't know what you're designed to do next in this season. You do, and we're going to help you to get there. So I want you watch the waterfall, listen, and just be. Okay, that was a Cepheid frequency of inner peace delivered to all of you. I created a object for this conference, recorded it for you. This is being delivered to all of you, okay? What I want you to do now is I want you to get out a pen and paper, okay? I know some of you are still eating, but please do this. This is important. Get out a pen and paper. And I want you to think about something that inspires you. Anything that inspires you. Maybe it was something you heard in the last couple of days. Maybe it's just something you've always wished, gosh, I wish I could do that. Maybe you want to travel somewhere. Maybe you want to open a business, right? Build your Solex downline, okay? Whatever you want to do, all right? Something that inspires you, and write it down on paper. And I'm going to tell you something from a neuroscience perspective about paper and pen. It's much more powerful for you than typing it into your phone. Much more powerful for your brain than dictating it. I do those things sometimes just out of need. But I'll tell you what, do you know what I start every single morning with? Pen and paper, a journal. And I have my conversation with God, and I write down the things that we've decided together we're going to do. It activates parts of your brain that are going to move you towards that goal faster and more powerfully than if you did not do that, okay? So write down something that inspires you. How confident do you feel that you could achieve what you've just written down, that you can actually do? Scale of 1 to 10, okay? Who's on the lower end of the scale, like, wow, that's a great thing, but I don't think I can get there? Who's like around like a 0, 1, or 2? Let me see. Okay. Who's in a lower mid-range, like a 3, 4, or 5? Like, yeah, I think maybe. Okay. All right. Who's a little bit higher range, like 6, 7, 8? A lot of you. I love this. Okay. You guys use this strategy, huh? Okay. And then who's a 9 or a 10? I love it. Okay, that's my team on the front row too. Good. And Sheila. I love it. I love it. You know, the belief in who you are is the key. What you do, Dr. Lachelle talked a little bit about this yesterday, right? What you do is literally a byproduct of who you are. And when you know who you are, and when you are confident in that, you cannot help but do the things that you are designed to do. It's almost like it's just natural for you. So again, I'm going to give you some more freedom. Things that you've put on your to-do list that you're struggling with, take them off. Take them off. They're not aligned for you in this moment, in this season. And you'll hear me say this a lot, talk about seasons of life, right? A lot of times we think about, oh, we have some grand purpose in life. Yes, you do. You have a calling. However, there are seasons, just like there are on the earth, right? There's a time to do different things. What is the season that you are in right now? Let's focus on that. And I'll tell you, the more you focus on that, the more likely your brain is to help you achieve your goal, okay? So we have this idea. We think that a lot of us are pretty high on the other end of the scale. Don't worry if you're like, well, I'm still a 2 or a 3. That's okay. We're going to get you up by the end of the talk. Okay, I still have 46 minutes. Okay, so we're good. All right. This is one of my favorite quotes. This is by Thoreau. If you have built your castles in the air, your work is not lost. We have to put the foundations under them, okay? So you have this dream, this passion, this inspiration that you've written down, all right? So now we've released it. We've released it from the subconscious mind, and it's in your conscious mind. Now you have to pay attention to it. Guess what? Yeah, see, I'm sneaky like that. Okay, all right. But we've got to put the foundations under them. What does that look like? From a brain science standpoint, that actually looks like making those neural connections, okay? If you heard my talk a couple weeks ago, you heard me talk about the mirror neuron network, okay? If you didn't hear that, go back and watch that. The mirror neuron network, it's part of your brain. It is one of the most amazing parts of your brain, okay? It cannot tell the difference between what you are envisioning for your life and what is actually happening in your life. Your brain is always, always holding 2 realities at one time, okay? And the more the reality you focus on, the more, guess what? That's the one it builds pathways to. Those are the pathways that are strengthened for you. The more emotion that you put behind that goal, that dream, that vision, right? That is what helps strengthen those pathways. Do you know what else helps strengthen those pathways? There's a wonderful brain chemical. It's called oxytocin. It's our trust, our bonding, our faith chemical. Do you know what releases oxytocin? A lot of things. Being among friends, hugs. Technically hugs for 20 seconds, which can get a little weird depending on who you're hugging, but petting an animal, okay? These things can release oxytocin. Oxytocin actually helps strengthen brain pathways. It's pretty amazing. And it works with another very powerful frequency in your brain called the gamma frequency. Gamma frequency, that's one of the faster frequencies, right? So theta, it's a slower frequency, 4 to 8 hertz. Gamma is very high, so higher than 25, 30, 35, right? In fact, when I went to medical school, we didn't even know gamma existed, okay? I'm not really that old, but anyway, it's relatively new. New discovery, all right? We thought everything ended with beta. Well, thank goodness it doesn't, because gamma is one of my favorite frequencies to be in. It accelerates your learning, okay? I had the wonderful opportunity to partner with Dr. Caroline Leaf a few years ago and help her interpret some research that she was doing with QEEG. And it was so amazing when we looked at and we could see in the brain the gamma frequencies being activated. Those that had the higher activation, they had the stronger neural pathways that were more persistent over time with change, okay? Your gamma frequency, it is your foundation builder under your castles that are in the air, okay? It's where your insights will crystallize into lasting change. Now, these are representations of brain cells, all right? And you're gonna hear a frequency. Watch the volume on this one. We might need to turn it down a little bit. For accelerated learning, which is one of my favorite Cephis to listen to when I wanna get my brain in gamma. Okay, so you've now primed your brain with accelerated learning. your brain, if we could get a QEEG on everyone, we'll have to figure that out for another day of discovery. Okay. Then you could actually see your brain jumping into gamma. Do you know what it's doing behind the surface right now? It's figuring out how what you wrote down can come into reality. And you don't have to do that work, okay? You let your brain do that for you. So let me tell you, every day, I get my brain, I start out in theta, right? Whether I use some strategies, so Nadia gave you some good strategies to activate the vagus nerve, right? That helps get your brain in theta. The rain, that's amazing. The new one is awesome. I want those upgrades, by the way, Lauren. Okay, so you get your brain into that state. You connect with what needs to be released from your subconscious mind, okay? Now it's out there. Now we've got to build the foundations. Now we get into gamma. You can also use the hub to get into theta. It's a very good way to do that too, okay? How do you get into gamma other than through frequencies? Does anybody know? What's that? Okay, that's one way. What else? Breath work can be. There's definitely some breath work you can do. Okay, that is generally more alpha, but you can get some gamma from that. So one of the ways to do that is actually learn something new. Simple. Could be anything. Something very, very small. You don't have to break out the quantum physics book and learn the whole first chapter, okay? You don't have to do that. You can start with something simple. One of the favorite things I like to do, I love languages. So I like to think of a word that's resonating with me that day, like the word for love. Like, wonder what that is in Chinese. And go look it up and draw those pretty pictures, right? Okay, all right. You can do something like that. But I'm gonna help you learn something today about yourselves. And what I'm about to teach you is a little sampler from one of my brain optimization programs I do with some of my consulting clients, okay? Because when you understand how your brain was designed to think, how you were designed to act, and you do that in alignment, you yield to that, okay? Do you know what happens to your bioelectric field? That electromagnetic field within you, when you are in alignment with who you're created to be, it intensifies, okay? It's not just electrical, it's magnetic too. So that means when you are being who you're created to be, when you are in alignment with how you're designed to think, your brain signature, your unique brain signature, if you could measure this, you would see that electromagnetic effect is increased. What does that do? That draws people to you that are supposed to be in your world. It shows you resources. You begin to see them. They begin to come to you for what you need to achieve your goals in this season. Okay? So let's work on that. Now, these are some images of different activations in the brain. So when I was working at the French Atomic Energy Commission in Grenoble, we were actually able to teach people how to activate their mirror neuron network in their brain. Very, very cool. So your brain, when you think about, like just think about for a moment, if I were gonna just pick up a cup of coffee, raise my hand, drink a cup of coffee, just think about doing that. You don't have to do it, just think about doing that. Every person's brain in here does that differently. Did you know that? There's general regions of the brain that are in charge of that, right? Your motor cortex. But everybody's brain is different. The neurochemical balance is different. The electrical changes are different, okay? So when you find your unique brain signature, the way you're designed to think, the way you're designed to take action, and you act in that, you accelerate your learning. Those pathways build faster. Those pathways build infinitely more intensely. So you have very unique wiring. And I've taken this complex program that I run with my clients, and I've simplified it for you. And we're going to talk about 3 areas. Okay, so you're going to learn something about yourself. Maybe you know some of this. Going to help you with your vision style. How do you even approach problems? Are you a big picture thinker, right? Or are you looking at all the trees in the forest? Is that how you think about things? When you make decisions, do you follow your heart? Do you follow logic? When you take action, are you a leader that says, hey, come with me, I know the way? Or do you prefer to have somebody hand you step by step what to do? Okay? There's no right answer. And I think so many times, and I'm guilty of this too when I was younger, I'd say, just show me the pattern. Just show me what to do. Let me pattern myself after these great leaders, after these great inventors. Surely they know the way. But that was their way. That wasn't my way, not your way. You may connect with people who have some similarities, and sometimes you can get success along those lines, right? But you have a very unique way of doing things. So, first exercise we're going to do is I want you to think about this. Do you think about, when you think about a problem, do you think more abstractly or do you think concretely? Okay? And again, no right and no wrong. There's no better, no worse here. Abstract thinkers, kind of big picture idea, right? More conceptual theories. If you think about like art, for example, abstract art. So someone can look at a piece of artwork and say, oh, that looks like a beautiful flower. And someone else can say, hey, that looks like a tractor. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, that is more abstract, right? You may approach things from what-if scenarios. Let me take a little sidebar in this what-if scenario because this is going to help some of you. I would catch myself a lot of times saying, what if, what if, what if? And I would notice that often the what if is something not good, right? Yes, but what if? What if that happens? What am I going to do? And then I started doing something. I tried something with my mind, and I said, well, if I'm going to say what if, why don't I say what if something amazing? Okay? What if I'm speaking on the Solex stage? Okay? What if I'm taking a trip to Hawaii with my kids? My son's happy right now. Okay. All right. And if you take that what if you catch yourself doing that, just flip it around. It's going to be really powerful for you. But abstract thinkers tend to lean into that. Look at patterns, look at connections between things, all right? Other people are concrete thinkers, right? They want to see what's in front of them and then figure out how to put it together, right? I need to touch it. I need to feel it, right? I need to see it. I need to hear it, okay? Often, if you're a concrete thinker, you like more of that logical, step-by-step kind of process, all right? And let me tell you, let me just take a poll. All right, who thinks they're an abstract thinker in here? Okay. And who thinks they're a concrete thinker? Okay, so it's pretty evenly split, which is pretty normal. Okay. What do you think happens if you're an abstract thinker and somebody tries to say, okay, here's your 4 choices? There you go. That's what you got to do, right? Don't choose from the 4 because that's not how you're designed. So if you heard something amazing up here over the last 2 days, but you're like, wait, but what about? Go with the but what about, okay? Because that is for you, all right? Okay. Now, let's take a look at how we make decisions. And again, these are my categories that I've developed, okay? So they're, not, I'm sure that you can come up with other ones, all right? So if you don't feel like you fit in any one in particular, that's okay. In fact, I would applaud that. Okay, all right. So some people make decisions based on emotions. Like, that's gonna feel so good. I'm gonna go buy those pair of shoes because I want them, okay? Or you make an emotional decision because I might make an emotional decision at work because it makes my staff happy, right? It's gonna bring joy, okay? It's gonna bring peace. Some people make decisions like that. Others are intuitive. You've gained a lot of knowledge in your life and you just go with your gut, right? You make a fast decision. It may be right, it may be wrong, but you're gonna make that decision quickly, all right? Those are intuitive thinkers. And here's the thing about intuitive thinking. I'm very much an intuitive thinker. I make very fast decisions. Most of the time they're right. Sometimes they're not. But here's what I know. One, I operate under grace. And two, I've learned to approach things from a very scientific perspective. You know what scientists, you know what we do? We develop a hypothesis and we test it. And you know what, when that hypothesis fails, do you think we just say, oh, well, the heck with that, throw that out? No, it's information. It's information that you now have about what didn't work. Edison found 999 ways that a light bulb didn't work, okay? But he found one that did, okay? So approaching life from, well, that didn't work, what's next? And having that list of other hypotheses to fall back on, okay? Maybe you're a vision person, a values person, and you make decisions based on how you think that aligns with who you are or that vision that you've seen for your life, right? Like, I know this may not make sense financially, but it's part of what I see. And so I'm just gonna trust that if I make this decision, it's gonna be the right one, okay? Maybe you're analytical, right? My analytical people, right? You're there with your pros and cons list, okay? That's fine. And here's the thing. If you try, again, to make decisions based on any other way other than what your brain is designed, you're gonna struggle, okay? If you've been told, listen, I was told as a kid, make a pros and cons list, always, Darlene. And I do it because that's what I do. I did what I was told a lot when I was younger. I don't do that so much anymore. Anyway, okay. All right. So I would make a list and I'd have like 8 pros and 2 cons. I'd be like, but I still don't want to do that. It just doesn't feel right, okay? That wasn't for me. And if I made decisions based on that, it would not have been aligned for me, okay? So go with how you are designed. If you've been told, hey, look, I just need a decision right now, and you've got someone pressuring you, right? But you're a vision person, right? You want to see, how is this going to fit in that overall picture? You're not going to be happy with your choice. This happens a lot in relationships, in marriages. Very rarely do you have 2 people that make decisions the same way, okay? So that communication, really, really important. And honoring your partner or your business partner, in whatever case, right? For their decision-making style. All right, so I'm curious. Who here is an emotional decision maker? A few, not many. Okay. All right, who's a vision person? A few more. Okay. Who's intuitive? So you just kind of make your decision. All right, a lot of you. That's why you're here. Okay, that's good. You're like, I'm gonna be there. And it might sell out, and it did. Okay, good. All right. And who are my scientific calculator people? Okay, yes. All right, we got a few of you. I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm a math nerd, remember, it's okay. All right. Okay. You can be more than one. Absolutely. I will tell you that, again, with the seasons of your life, you will see something primary, and these can change too, okay? You're an emotional decision maker now. It doesn't mean next year might be more focused on vision and values when you have that, right? Okay? Lastly, let's take a look at your action style. How do you take action? Are you naturally a leader? Is that natural for you, right? All right. Is it natural for you to lead a team? Okay. Or do you work better in a group, being supportive, right? Maybe you're the social person, right? The person that eases tension when things come up. Are you someone that likes to get counsel, right? Maybe, you get counsel from other experts, or, are you someone who leans on wisdom of others? Or are you someone who says, you know what, just give me my thing, let me go. I'm gonna go off to my corner and I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna give it back to you, okay? How do you take action? Because listen, if you aren't following the way you are designed to do things, you're gonna struggle. Maybe you've been told, hey, you need to take more of a leadership role. Not if it's not aligned for you right now. Doesn't mean you're not ever gonna be a leader. You may be a leader in some parts of your life and not in others too, okay? Understand this. So who are you in this moment?